The more and more I listen to it, the more I enjoy it. Circles is another fun song and definitely a little palate cleanser. What do you think about this one, Dave?
I like palate cleanser. This song is a little different. Strong in the keys, strong in the acoustic guitar. Nice little change up from the rest of the album. Good placement.
Yeah, very good placement.
Like a little bit after halfway, so a good spot. He does place the breaks for the songs that are a little different in a nice place for the album, so like all bunched together. And that does minimize the samey of the album. Like if he had like tagged these two at the end or at the beginning or something like that, you would have had kind of like, 6 or 7 songs in a row where you're like, well, these are good, don't get me wrong.
Right.
It's kind of like one after the other. And so interestingly, like when we hear these songs by themselves, because we view them one at a time, we're like, oh, this is great, another winner. When you hear them together, it's not like they got worse or they're bad, but you do start hearing the similarities.
Right, yeah.
And it does kind of blend in a little bit, but not with Circles. Circles really stands out. I'm glad he stepped outside and added some variety to the album. So good for him. This is great.
And I think there's the second half of the album has a lot of variety. So, like, for example, we go from Circles, right? We went from the big anthem of Mammoth then to Circles, a kind of a cooling, cleansing palette. It's sort of ballady. Now we're coming to Big Picture. Here's a clip.
That's how the hustle goes. A world of animals. Just really wanted you to know now. I know it's rational. You think it's criminal. Just shut your mouth until you're able. Another article. Just what you said, that's enough. You're just like stone.
This is a big, dark guitar riff here. There is pain and anger in these vocals. This has an Alice in Chains vibe here. Very 90s, very rich album track. Thunderous bass and drums. I could easily see this really ramping up live on the stage. Total grunge throwback, in my opinion. This even has a Nirvana influence in here as well. What did you think of Big Picture, Dave?
Those are, I hadn't thought about, but yeah, I do hear the Nirvana in there now that you say that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
This is another riff-heavy song, back to doing what he likes to focus on and what he's good at. So, a more typical rocker for the album. It's not a throwaway track by any means. It's solid. It keeps you going through the album.
Absolutely. Now we're switching gears again. Like I said, the second half of this album is really switching gears all over the place. Think it over. Here's a clip. Now, we talked about this one before. This was Eddie's favorite song. This has the potential to be a huge hit single. This has hit written all over it. It is easily the most commercial song on the album, as well as Distance. Perfect pop song. Just beautiful melody. You can totally hear this all over the radio in the summer. This has that emo core to it. This is totally his Jimmy Eat World influence coming out here. I love Jimmy Eat World. Quite a contrast from the Big Picture, but it just goes to show you how he can really do pop and really do hard rock as well. The melody is so catchy, but it's not earwormy. It's not that kind of like sing-songy thing that gets in your head. It has a really pleasant melody that kind of just has beautiful layering. The bridge here is fun too. There's a nice guitar solo at about 2 minutes and 31 seconds. It's tasteful, but it's not too much. And all his solos are like that. They're coloring. They're flavoring. They're not show-offy. They really don't. He's not looking for fireworks on these solos. It's all to serve the song. And like Distance, this is a perfect blend of pop and rock, which is really a comfortable zone for him, which I think is incredible. And like we said, this is Ed's favorite song, but what a song. What do you think of Think It Over, Dave?
Totally agree. This is the poppy song. But not like too light.
No, it's not too too
fluffy
light.
poppy.
Yeah. No.
I mean, there's still lots of guitars and everything. It's kind of like Dance the Night Away. Was.
Okay.
Like, that was definitely a pop song.
Yeah.
And was not the heaviest song on the album.
Right.
But it wasn't like this wimpy throwaway song. And neither is this one either. I think it's a little earwormy. It can be.
Really?
Yeah. It's definitely one that you could play around for other people. And so this song could definitely be a hit. It's definitely got that pop sensibilities. Although I always wonder if it could be a hit now or if I'm 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years too late in thinking it's a hit because I'm still stuck in 1985. And with the ever-changing landscape of music, I never know what's popular anymore. But I think this song, under the right circumstances, could definitely be a hit and win a lot of people over. Great pop crossover song, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Totally. I think this could be a crossover hit for sure. Now, again, gears get switched again. You're to blame. Here's a clip. Now, this smashes you right back into the hard rock pool with that delicious guitar hook. This song swells up into pure fury. This almost has a Metallica-like power from the Black Album, not like older Metallica, like Black Album era Metallica. It has that big, massive wall of sound, the drums, the bass really thickening up the soup to give the song that massive wallop. Even the guitar solo at 2 minutes and 27 seconds, believe it or not, has a Kirk Hammett type of vibe to it, in my opinion. The drum build-up at 3 minutes and 15 seconds and smashing back in is a nice touch. I can see this also on NFL replays, sports using this song to hype the crowd up. This has got that sort of real stadium kind of feel to it. What do you think of You're to Blame?
You know, it's interesting you say Metallica because I hear more of a Tony Iommi Black Sabbath riff in there, or like later period Tony Iommi.
Okay.
It's got that, but everybody owes something to Tony Iommi anyway, so everything flows back.
That's true. He's the
anyway.
man. He's the man.
But either way, whether it's Sabbath or Metallica, this is a hard and heavy song. One of the heavier songs on the album, and I mean, he was definitely making his case after he released Distance and this came out that this song was representative that the album was going to rock and rock hard. Yeah. And it totally does. This is a total air guitar song and just shaking your head till it falls off and you have a sore neck, headbanging all the way. It's definitely one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic song. Next one is Feel. Here's a clip.
Never more in the game until we agreed, but it was not enough. Looked at me like I was a machine. Was it not enough to feel something? I feel nothing. I know something's wrong.
Now, we talked about this song before. Lots of guitar crunch that has that swirling feel. Dave compared it to U2's Vertigo. It definitely has that. And by the way, I think what also made you say that, Dave, is this line here. As you hear Wolf say, and I feel, now here's Bono. And Bono's saying that same sort of thing. So it definitely has that echoey, big background vocal there, which is similar. It has nice pacing. The bass is really prominent on this, especially at about 2 minutes and 21 seconds in. You can really hear it. It's interplayed nicely with the drums and the guitar, but real strong. This is another beautiful example of his musicianship. It shows off so much, and it has that real quick and fiery finish. Feel, another strong track. Dave, what do you think?
I like this song a lot. And I'm glad he had it towards the end of the album. Go through the album, some of the later songs on the album, they may not be as good, or towards the end of the album, maybe you're not listening as closely. But the song, I mean, even after You're to Blame wakes you up, this one keeps it going. And you're completely right about the relationship and the break. That's just phenomenal stuff. I mean, he's doing that bass solo. He's doing the drum solo. He knows he can play guitar. I mean, this guy really has the chops. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, one-man band.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And it's so rare that someone can do that and have those kind of vocals. That's what's unbelievable because...
Yeah, I mean, his vocals are really solid.
I mean, it's amazing. People were. Think about if you dial it back and think about people on the 2007 tour, 2007-2008 tour. People were saying that he was piping in Michael Anthony's vocals. Meanwhile, this kid sings like this. It's amazing.
Well, he does now. I mean, he probably wasn't singing like that back in 2007, 2008. But obviously, he's been practicing.
Yeah,
and he is certainly above average. He's solid. No one's going to confuse him with Freddie Mercury, of course.
Well, no one's saying he's Freddie Mercury, but for a rocker,
he does a great job.
Amazing.
And you know what? He does a really nice job layering the vocals on certain songs when he wants that nice background harmony to work.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he sounds like Van Halen, but
no.
He definitely heard that working with the band and how important that can be to a song.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. Now we come to what is considered the album closer. This is what he considers the album closer. And it is, and again, gear shifting again. This is an incredibly different song, but still incredible. The song Stone. Here's a clip. This really decompresses, this calms things down, but another Alice in Chains vibe here. Lower register vocal. Elvis Biscuit does a masterful job on the instrumental layering here. At about 1 minute and 23 seconds, the guitar goes off into like this incredible, like melodic type thing, and it goes high and it gives the song some real teeth. There's a lot of background guitar layering. Another F-bomb gets dropped lyrically, and this is... oh my God, it's over 6 minutes long. It's very epic, this song. It really builds into an incredible intensity. You get to about 3 minutes and 22 seconds, you're like halfway through the song. There's this massive breakdown, and the guitars get thicker and sludgier, which is so cool, and the instrumentation is unbelievable. And then it drops off and lets up at about 4 minutes and 28 seconds with a single drum beat. The vocals, I think, don't come back until about 4 minutes and 44 seconds with real strong punch, and it's a fight to the finish until this song kind of early fades off with sort of a haunting piano and a drum beat. What an epic closer this is. This one really threw me for a loop. I was shocked, but I really thought that this had an incredible wideness to it. It also shows you that he could be heading in all kinds of different directions for the next album. So what did you think of Stone, Dave?
I loved it as an album closer.
Yeah.
I know this is the last song, but that's a bonus track.
Right, exactly.
But after I heard that song, I was like, damn, he nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, and Van Halen, again, another similarity. Like, Van Halen usually knew how to close an album. They could pick epic songs, like the last song off of Women in June First.
In a Simple Rhyme?
In a Simple Rhyme. I mean, that's an epic song. And this, too, is epic song. Interesting, every time you name a band you hear in the song, I always refer back to Sabbath. I hear Sabbath in this song a lot. But I think it's 6 minutes long, but it doesn't feel 6 minutes long. It does go long, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. And there's lots of different things going on. And just a fantastic way to end the album. And you're like, yeah, this is what I was hoping for. This is what I wanted. I mean, he delivers the goods, pulls out all the punches on this last song. And he's like, damn, nailed it.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. And now the album wraps up with Distance, the tribute to Eddie Van Halen, his father. Here's a clip.
No matter